There is one emotional habit that makes a woman unable to replace a man once it forms. And most men never recognize it because it doesn't look impressive, dominant, or dramatic. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't demand attention. In fact, when done correctly, it often looks almost invisible. But internally, it rewires how her nervous system associates safety.com, an emotional balance with one specific presence. And once that association is established, replacing you doesn't feel like choosing someone else. It feels like losing access to a state of being she can't easily recreate. Most men believe attraction is built through moments, through intensity, chemistry, words, or emotional displays. But what creates lasting attachment isn't moments. It's repetition, habits, patterns the body learns without conscious awareness. And the most powerful habit of all is this: you become the place her emotions settle after disruption, not before. After, when something shakes her emotionally, your presence becomes associated with regulation, not escalation. This works because human beings don't attach to people, they attach to emotional states. The nervous system remembers shifts, not personalities. Most men try to bond through excitement, reassurance, validation, or constant availability. But those things are common. She can get stimulation from novelty, validation from attention, reassurance from words. What she cannot easily replace is the man whose presence consistently brings her nervous system back to balance. When stress hits, when uncertainty rises, when emotional noise increases, her body remembers where it felt contained. And once that memory forms, logic loses influence. This is why attraction often feels irrational. It's not based on evaluation. It's based on regulation. Most men sabotage this by trying to fix emotions instead of containing them. They rush to explain, reassure, problem solve, or smooth things over. They think support means changing how she feels. But emotional regulation doesn't come from answers. It comes from grounded presence. When her emotions rise and you don't mirror the chaos, don't collapse into reassurance, and don't withdraw, something subtle happens. Her nervous system begins to synchronize with yours. Calm becomes contagious, not because you're passive, but because you're anchored. You remain present without being consumed. You don't perform understanding. You don't seek approval for patience. You simply stay stable. Over time, her body learns that emotional turbulence resolves faster around you. And eventually, it begins to seek you when turbulence appears. This is the uncomfortable truth most men resist. You don't become irreplaceable by making her feel more. You become irreplaceable by making her feel regulated. Intensity creates memories. Regulation creates attachment. Excitement activates the mind. Regulation calms the body. And the body remembers what calms it. When her stress lowers around you, when her breathing slows, when her thoughts quiet, that association embeds deeply. Your absence then doesn't just create longing. It creates imbalance. And imbalance demands correction. Many men confuse stability with predictability. Predictability kills attraction. Stability strengthens it. Predictability is knowing exactly how you'll react, how available you'll be, how much effort you'll give. Stability is knowing you won't lose yourself regardless of emotional conditions. You can be warm without being needy, supportive without dissolving boundaries, present without hovering. That emotional solidity makes your presence feel safe without feeling dull. She doesn't feel managed. She feels free. And freedom within connection creates trust at a level words can't touch. This is why men who overinvest early often get replaced. They teach her nervous system that she is the regulator, not them. Her moods drive the dynamic. Her reactions dictate their behavior. That creates pressure, not safety. And pressure eventually triggers avoidance. But when you regulate yourself first, when you don't need her emotions to behave a certain way for you to stay grounded, polarity shifts. She senses that your emotional center doesn't orbit around her approval. And that creates relief. She can feel without consequence. She can fluctuate without destabilizing the connection. Her system relaxes. And relaxed systems attach deeply. This habit becomes dangerous when misunderstood. Emotional regulation creates reliance. Reliance can turn into dependency if exploited. A weak man uses withdrawal, inconsistency, or emotional scarcity to maintain control. That's manipulation. And manipulation always collapses into resentment or chaos. A grounded man does the opposite. He provides stability without trapping. He doesn't threaten absence. He doesn't manufacture anxiety. He understands that restraint preserves attraction better than control ever could. Men who are hard to replace don't stand out emotionally. They become the baseline. Other men feel louder, more effortful, more chaotic by comparison. Conversations elsewhere feel draining. Connections feel unstable. She doesn't consciously compare. Her nervous system does. And the nervous system always prefers what costs less energy. Emotional efficiency beats emotional intensity over time. When she thinks of you, there's no spike. There's coherence, alignment, a sense of rightness. And once that equilibrium is experienced, it's incredibly difficult to give up. Trying harder usually destroys this habit. Effort without grounding communicates need. Need creates pressure. Pressure erodes desire. The emotional habit that makes you irreplaceable requires patience, not performance. Presence, not persuasion. Self-regulation before relational regulation. When you stay whole, others feel safe around you. And safety, when embodied rather than promised, creates quiet gravity. When a woman can't replace you, it's not because no one else is attractive. It's because no one else feels the same. Her body doesn't settle the same way. Her mind doesn't quiet the same way. Under stress, fatigue, or emotional load, her system remembers. And memory at that level fades slowly. This is why absence does the work for you. Not because she misses you as a person, but because she misses how she felt when she was with you. And that feeling is the hardest thing to replace.